7. How about you? I now call the Oliver Springs Town Council meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller.
Here.
Jeff Bass.
Here.
Kenny Brown.
Here.
Jason Stiltner.
Here.
Terry Holland.
Here.
Ron Schilling.
Here.
We got a quorum.
Now would you lead us in the pledge, David?
Place the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jim, will you lead us in prayer?
Most gracious and heavenly Father, we come to you tonight thanking you for all that you have done. And we acknowledge the unfortunate tragedy with our patrolman James Perkins, and we pray for his family. We pray that you would offer peace and comfort and strength in this situation and help them to see your way and your workings in this situation. Be with these men as we deliberate, that we can take the resources that you have given us and manage the town in such a way as to serve our citizens and bring honor and glory to you. We pray for our nation and the people of our nation. We pray that the Holy Spirit will come upon our people individually and be the lubrication that will eliminate the pain and the strife and the grief. We would work to serve you, and by serving you, we would serve each other. We'd eliminate the hatred and the bickering and the fighting that we see. We pray that that would happen. We pray for a miracle where that would happen. We pray for our servicemen and women at home and abroad, that you would give them peace and comfort and bring them home safely. We ask all this in thy Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Review the minutes from last meeting. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
Got a motion, and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll, Jim.
Robert Miller.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Jason Stiltner.
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Ron Schilling.
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have citizens come forward. If you have anything, approach the podium and state your name and address, please, and your.
My name is Cecil Crow. I live at 720 Dartery Road, and I'm here representing the Oliver Springs Historical Society. We're having a commemorative brick sale. We're going to put those down on the street, going through the streetscape area of the Historical Society. Those will be $50 each. You can have it in memory of somebody. You can have it for your class, at school, or whatever. But you can get those forms here at City Hall. You can get them at Harvey's Furniture, or you can print them off our website. We've got Facebook. It's Oliver Springs, Tennessee History and Memories public group. There's a little over 6,000 followers on that. If you've not been there, it's a good opportunity to look for a history and look at a lot of the old pictures of town. You can also go to our website. It's oshistorical.com, and you can get it there as well. Under the Facebook, it's under announcements, brick sale, and under our website, it's under more items for sale and then brick. So we need quite a few more bricks. We've had one sale 3 or 4 years ago, but we need quite a few more to pave that walkway through that streetscape. We're also having a yard sale, not this weekend, but the following weekend. That'll be the 26th and the 27th, Friday and Saturday. Appreciate all of you.
Is it going to be there at the building?
Pardon me?
Is it
Yes.
going to be at the building? Okay.
That walkway is gonna be where now? In front?
Okay. The theater's on the right-hand side of the back.
Yeah.
That streetscape is going to be on the left-hand side. That's the last section of the main floor to be finished. We've got about a little less than $500,000 invested in that museum so far. Doing a lot of archive work. It's open every Tuesday and Friday from 10 to 2. If you've not been through that, you need to stop and go through that.
Is there any specials? You got 2 or 3?
Well, you could buy one in memory of the council for this term, or for you personally, for your wife?
I'm just saying, if you buy more than one, is there a discount?
Pardon me?
If you buy more than one, is there a discount?
He's willing 3 for $1, one of them deals.
Two for $100. Two for $100.
3 for 150.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's a very good cause, and those of you that's got grandkids or whatever, you can do whatever you want to with that, and put anything you need to on there, that as long as it'll fit. I don't know how many words of the letters it'll take, but it'll take several. Okay? Any other citizens have anything to come before the town council? You got something you'd like to bring up, ma'am?
Yeah, we live.
Well, you stand up here, please, and state your name and your address and your comments.
My name's William Jackson, and I live on Bowler Mill Road. Over the years, I've lived at the house that I live in now for about 6 years, and we've made complaints about houses on the road being that there's nobody living there. There's a lot of overgrowth, and it comes over on my land, the kudzu and stuff. And I know my dad's made complaints about it before, and nothing's being done about these abandoned houses.
Well, I assure you that, I think, was you the one that called me, ma'am?
A couple of times, yes.
We're in progress of taking care of some of that.
Okay.
I hope it don't take as long as it did the last house we destroyed, or just tore down, finished Monday, I guess.
Yeah.
Took about, since 2015,
Yes,
procedures you gotta go through.
I understand that.
And, but we were well aware of it, and we're listening to your complaints, and we're trying to correct that.
Okay.
And I assure you that we'll work on it, and you'll see some improvements.
Okay. Well, I just wanted you all to know that there's several houses down that road.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's just, it's going on for too long, and I want to get something done about it. Okay?
I'll agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the timeline? What is the time frame of actually getting something done?
Well, it depends on whether you go to court or not. We can give you a 30-day notice to clean your property up. If you don't clean it up within 30 days, then we clean it up and charge taxes or try to recover our money from the people that pays taxes on the property. However, if you can't get in touch with those folks to notify them a certified mail or some other reason, it might take a little longer. Most certified mail letters that goes out, they never get signed for. We've had one reply lately, and it came from Florida, because they own property next door to the property we just destroyed, took the house down. And they wanted to assure us they didn't own that house, so that's what held that up. They showed a quick claim deed that they owned it. And we had to verify that, and we did, and took care of that. So we'll give them the owners 30 days to clean it up. If they don't clean it up, we'll clean it up, charge the owners on their taxes, add it to their taxes, and then it goes into a court procedure. So it could take up to 6 months or so.
Well, this has been years.
Yeah, well, we've had one that took over 10 years, I think, but they kept making small improvements, and the judge would sign off on it, and not this judge, by the way, it's hired him. But the judge would sign off on it, and we let them go for a while longer, we make them do some more, and it just carried on. But you come at a good time, because right now we're gonna tighten it up. I don't know where we're gonna get the money to pay for it, but it's gonna have to be tightened up.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I would offer this thought. It sounds easy what the mayor said in an overview of the procedure, but more specifically, the town has to be very careful, because if we send them a notice and they don't respond, or for that matter, if we send them a notice and they say they'll clean it up and don't, and the town moves on it and cleans it up, those people might get angry at the town and file a lawsuit against the town saying that we damaged their property, or we did this without due process of law, and all the other legal things that can arise in disputes of this nature. And in order to protect the town, if nothing is done, by that I mean if the owners don't respond, the town has to file a lawsuit in Roane County Chancery Court. And see, that lawsuit can cost anywhere from several hundred to several thousand, like $5,000 or $7,000 over the life of the lawsuit. And of course, there's so many competing budget line items for the town's revenue that sometimes it is not the easiest to find that kind of revenue to fund these type of projects, especially when you look around town and there's dozens of these lots, these properties that are not in compliance. And we have water and sewer problems and street problems and so forth that we have to fund. So it's not the easiest thing to deal with. When you start implementing the solution, it's easy to talk about, the solution, but when you implement the solution, it becomes much greater. And, you know, if you are very much thoughtful about this, I would suggest that there's positions on the Planning Commission and positions on the Board of Zoning Appeals, and a few town council positions may come open here for election. And I would encourage y'all to run and become involved. And that way you'll get the first-hand experience about how to deal with these problems and the exact nature of the problems you have to conquer to solve them. The mayor's right, we had one property on Kingston Avenue that was in court for about 2 years because you have to follow the due process of law, and after $5,000 or so in attorney's fees, we got it condemned, and now the town's got to pay about $3,000 or $4,000 to have it torn down. Town mayor made $5,000, okay. Town mayor may not get its money back. And I'm not trying to whine or complain or cry on your shoulder. I'm just simply stating that from your perspective, it's a problem, a very bad problem, and a very simple problem to solve. But from these men's problem standpoint, it's not only the problem, it's figuring out a way to pay for it with tax dollars that are limited.
And I totally understand that.
So,
For 6, 7, 8 years, I thought that there would have been some sort of time frame, and then.
The other one started in 13 and we condemned it in 15. It took up till now to get it done. And I'll take over for a second, Kelly. The chief just reminded me by this mail system we got by these telephones that we just passed an ordinance that's going to help us with this a little bit better, and that we last meeting. And so bear with us, and we'll try to get it taken care of. You got beautiful property, you keep your property up. I know I drive by there pretty often.
Thank you.
And it's eyesore beside you, and I know you're not happy with it. And I'm not happy with it, and I'm sure these men are not happy with it.
It's a health and safety thing now,
Yes.
because there is vermin.
Yeah.
I've seen vermin up there. You know, and I know we have some small children and we've got grandchildren, so.
Yeah.
It's not really that, I mean, it's just it's a matter of pride for the city.
That too.
It is.
I want to live in I love Oliver Springs, I've lived here my whole life. And I want it to be a good community, and I want it to be pretty.
We want to make it that way, and as Joe said, we're restricted somewhat on money in doing it, but we hope to work our way out of that if we can win some of these few cases that people don't abide with the rules, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that all you got?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna take a few minutes, and some very solemn minutes. First, I'm gonna read another news release that the chief sent me. It is with our deepest regret that we inform you of the duty passing of Officer James D. Perkins. James Perkins has been an officer since 2006, working with the Rockwood Police Department, Roanoke State Community College Police Department, Oliver Springs Police Department, and with the Officer James Perkins was an outstanding police officer and spent a lot of his time dedicated to the citizens in this area. We thank you, Officer James D. Perkins, for your service. Let's have a moment of silence for that, please, Stan. Amen.
Mr. Mayor, could I have your news release for the minutes?
Sure.
You can read faster, not right?
I don't know how I did that. I have to pick on the screen till I get it back. I have another thank you to the police department. The chief, I don't think he's seen. I didn't give it to him because I just got it. On behalf of the citizens of Kingston, please accept our most sincere thanks for the generous support you showed our city over the last 2 weekends. Thankfully, both protests were peaceful without incident. However, we are seeing across the country, things could have been much worse. The selfless commitment of your officers to stand by our side and help a neighbor in the fact of possible danger is something that we will never forget and forever be grateful for. If we can ever be of assistance to you, please let us know. We are never more than a phone call away. Son, Tim Neal, Mayor, David Bowling, City Manager, and Jim Wash, Chief of Police. Chief, you can have this when we get through, and I'll give you this letter. Next, I'm gonna read a prayer that I've just seen. It's unknown author. Prayer of police officers. Almighty God, we pray to you in heaven above. Watch over our dear police officers and protect them with your love. Please guide them as they keep us safe both day and night and hold them firmly in your care should danger come their way. Give them true strength and courage as they serve till duty's end. And one more thing to ask you, Lord, protect their families and their friends. God bless our police officers. That's all I have right now. Mr. Miller? No, I'm sorry, City Manager. I'm going to pass you right up, bud.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to publicly thank Rogers Group for the donation of 125 tons of gravel for the new police shooting range. And the cemetery is being mowed and it will be ready for Father's Day. In addition, the new tractor has been out mowing for the entire week and it currently has 193 hours on it. The demolition of 428 Kingston Avenue is also complete. That's all I have, Mayor.
Mr. Miller?
Thomas, has the working all been changed on that tractor yet?
I believe it has. I think we bought up a new filter and everything from the company. I'll confirm that.
I think they came out and done it on the premises.
Make sure that keep that documented for the warranty work.
Okay. I know we even bought special oil from them as well.
Anything else, sir?
That's all I've got.
Mr. Bass?
I'd just like to give my condolences to the family of the police officer who lost his life. Thank our workers working under the short hands that they are, getting things done. Just like to say I really appreciate it. That's all I have.
Second, Mr. Gray?
Yes, sir, I'd like to thank, we're patching the turn there on Parnell and Hidden Valley, and I also did the one out at, in front of the fire station, our emergency squad. And I also seen where they tore that house down, and that looks good. And I just like to see maybe keep on going, but he didn't. But anyway, the cemetery is real good. I went over there and looked, and it looked real good. Got to call some people back and tell them. And didn't we open some new lots down close to the railroad tracks? Yeah, it needs to be looked at because you couldn't see. It was really up there. I'm sure that that's not a concern as much as even the cemetery mode. But I appreciate that work that they really did, and people were real happy. And I know we were short-handed. I know they worked diligently to get that done. So appreciate it, and that's all I would have.
Still
Just want to give the county mayor, Terry Frank, just a real quick shout out for, I know that all the cities in Anderson County have declined to do fireworks celebration this year, but Mayor Frank stepped up to the plate along with the county commissioners, and going to have a fireworks celebration for the 4th of July. So I just want to say thank you, Mayor, for getting that done. Also, just wanted to follow up on a few things. Have we heard about inmates lately, or what's the status, or?
Yeah, we have a whole section on that today.
Okay, oh,
I
sorry.
can tell you.
Okay, nope, that's fine. Potholes, we need to get together on some potholes. It's Norwood Drive, Sleepy Hollow, Airport Road's
tell
bad.
me we'll meet you Saturday morning.
We can. And I want to follow up with what the gentleman spoke about, sightliness of lots. I'm born and raised in Oliver Springs, born and raised in Sleepy Hollow for 17 years. And the past week, week and a half, I guess, we performed 3 jobs on Sleepy Hollow Road. And I was dismayed at what I saw. It was sad. It was sad. It wasn't the Sleepy Hollow I grew up on. I understand that not everybody lives in a $1 million home. That's fine. You don't have to live in a $1 million home to maintain it, to make it look sightly. I mean, this is our community. This is where we live. This is where our kids are raised. It isn't asking a lot for you to go mow your yard. It isn't asking a lot for you to keep it clean. Is it? Are we asking too much? No, we're not. And, you know, as I drive through my town, that I love, that I work, that I have been reared in, that I will probably die in, I want to take a second to reflect that we need to do better as a whole. Not just council, not city manager, not mayor, but everyone as a whole. You know, whether, and I know me and Thomas talked about this, about getting a street sweeper, and, you know, we got some weeds issue, you know, along the highway and along curbs and whatnot, but we can do better as a whole. And that's just, as I drive through, you know, giving estimates and out meeting folks, I want to bring that to our attention. And going forward, you know, I know it's not going to be fixed overnight. It's not going to be fixed in a meeting, but it can be brought to our attention and be conscious going forward. You know, you don't have to be wealthy or rich to be nice and neat. It just takes a little pride. It takes wanting to be good, or not to be good, but this is the best that we have to offer. That's what I tell my guys every day. The enemy of best is good. Well, this is good enough. That's good enough? No, it isn't. No, you can do better, I promise. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. You ready?
It's all right behind that.
I've
I've been trying to say that for 10 years.
A lot of people say you can't see it from my house, so it don't matter about
That's
it, but we can see it from.
Keep track of that. Say we need another oil change. Does the guys tell you, you tell them, or they call, or the factory calls, or?
Well, we've been keeping in communication with the dealer. The dealer's been doing a lot of the work on it, and we've been communicating with them. So if anything does come up, it'll be under warranty for the next couple of years, but for the oil changes and stuff like that, we've been buying the parts from them. I think we got another set of blades we're gonna order as well, so that'll come from the dealer as well. So we just stay in contact with the dealer and their service department.
Do we have like a check-off sheet or something that, I mean, most of the jobs I've ever been on, you got
We have
Check your
one on it,
medium.
I think.
check-off sheets and hours written and all that kind of
I'll
stuff.
check and find out, and if they don't have one, I'll make one.
Yeah, because it really helps to spot things that,
The
You
book,
didn't realize
the
it
book
didn't
has
belong.
checkoff sheet in it, I think he put it in there.
But what he's talking about is every day before you get the city equipment, you're supposed to do a walk around and check off everything that's, like the oil
Right.
level, to see what any lights are on. I'll make sure it has one.
you know, bad tires, state of that, the battery, all that mess. I got some complaints about the park on the, I kind of got misled. I thought we were closer with the concession stand we was, as far as that debris and plane crash mess and all that stuff with the brick and all that stuff. And why is there still open ditch and it's not taped up like a caution or something?
The open ditch was supposed to have been, for the electrician to put his, conduit in, but he didn't show up, so we're still waiting on him. I can get some tape put up.
I mean, if we could just pitch the conduit in it, we could, you know, have it covered up, and, you know, at least 90% of it or something.
Yeah,
I sent some pictures to everybody else
Well,
that's on here.
we contracted electrical for it, and all that stuff's supposed to be done, and we just have to follow up and get them out here.
But, you know, there's a lot of brick chips and.
We're gonna bury all
over
those. The dirt's gonna come all the way to the top, so all that'll be buried once we get once the electrical's put in, we put a drain system in for the soffits, or not soffits, for
The
the,
sewer line.
no, gutters, for the gutters. Once the gutter, drain lines go in, there'll be PVC under the ground, then we can backfill it. That's all we're really waiting on.
And I also see some pictures, everybody, of the, plating equipment. I remember when we had that put in, it was a big, $35,000. When they hauled in the, wood chips, they was out there with mics and calipers measuring it, made a big deal about it, what kind it was. And all I see right now is dirt and grass.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know, is that proper, or is that something we
No,
need to?
we're waiting for the new budget year to put the new, chips in, and, we got that planned.
And, yeah, we can at least take that off. The kids have been playing in it, and from what I hear.
They are, they play in gravel piles, sand piles, whatever they can play in, and it's not good to have that ditch so an adult might step and break a leg or hit their head or whatever.
Well, I mean, we used to do that, now you can't get by there.
No, you're gonna cost some money now.
Yeah.
Used to break your leg, you got a spanking, wrapped it up, but not anymore.
But that's all.
Chillers.
My concern is the same as what Jason was saying and Terry, so I won't repeat, but I echo those.
Chief Morgan?
If we can we get a negative beer board set for the, was it the 17th of July? Yeah, 17th of July.
What day of the week is that on?
That's the third week. Or second,
Thursday.
Have it on have it right before the meeting, right?
or after the meeting.
Okay.
The 16th, was it?
Yeah,
The what?
16.
16th.
Is it 16th? That's what I said, I had to,
That's Thursday.
yeah, that our second meeting next week.
Okay.
It's for the Norwood Marathon, they're changing numbers.
Okay.
That's it.
You got that date, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. Archie?
No, it's not.
Okay. Old business. Is there any old business to be brought before the town council? New business. Item 1, discuss and possibly approve HVAC tonnage for gas package and replacement for water department office unit. We have one office unit go out, and you know they've been in here about 20 years, so we're probably gonna have some more. This one happened to be a hole in condenser line. It's cost as much for condenser almost as it does to buy the new unit. So you want to discuss that in detail?
Yes, sir. We requested bids from different vendors that install air conditioner units. The air conditioner unit is either to be replaced or repaired, and I believe it was only $1,000 to put a brand new one in. Mayor and I discussed it, and we hadn't had time to discuss it further today, but the option that we were looking at was a train unit that is around $5,990 something. But there's another that is a Rheem unit for $6,000. I believe it's from York, and it is the same that is there. So if we want to change these units out to train, now's our time. Part of me is torn because I'm not sure how the train's going to line back up, how the siding is. These are just package units that plug right in. I know that the Rheem unit will fit right in. It's $6,000. I believe it's the very last one on the bid packets there, the call around bids. So if we want to trade these out for train, now's probably the time to start doing it because this first one's gone and they're all 22 years old. So there's a couple of them back there, and there's a couple of them's going to start going bad time and time again. So now's our chance to change it out to a train, or to keep what we've got. It's lasted for a long time. It's really here to there for me, as long as we just get one to go back in its place. Is it York right there? Yeah, York AC was the low bid for the Rheem at $6,000, and I think it was HEP that was the low bid for the train, but we didn't specify train, so we didn't get any of the prices for train except for that one. So We were asking for the exact replacement, so the one that did fit our specifications that we're asking for was your KC for 6,000. But if we want to change out to Train, now's our time, but I'll let it be y'all's decision.
Would your KC be able to provide Train versus Ring?
I don't know. That's the problem, is that we didn't ask for Train, we just thought it was a good deal for a good unit, and we thought, wow, but by then, we'd already got all the other ones already in. It may just be easier to go back with a Ring, to be honest with you, but if we want to change them out to Train, now's the time to do it. It's now or 22 years from now.
I suspect these will fail within the next year or so, all of them, because they've been used the same length of time, about 20 years.
Be nice to keep this business local though,
Yes, it would.
Well,
especially the one you got right downtown. I don't see much difference in the price.
Is this for the water department, you said?
Well,
water department office,
it cools the water department office, but it's
And
for here.
computers.
It's here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what.
located in the back.
It'll be split between, general fund and water and sewer. It'll be a split between general fund and enterprise fund because
It's in the budget
it's
or
for
not
the
in the
building.
budget?
No, this is not in the budget, it just has,
This would be on the depreciation plan.
for general, I mean, for enterprise, it would be, wouldn't it?
And you split, but right now, do we have the money to pay for it?
Well, you do in saving. You do in saving.
Yes, we have money.
It was unforeseen.
How old is the unit?
It was here when the building was built, 20 years. Well,
Been 20 years?
20-some years this building's been here. I don't know, I wasn't here when they built it. I don't think I was here. I was, I think I was told by the owner it'd been about 20 years.
06? No,
That's older now.
02?
Any event, they last anywhere from 15 to 20 years usually without anything much going wrong with them. They're treated right, so.
So replacing the coil costs it
We
almost.
need an air conditioning unit, one way or the other.
So, option two is to replace the coil, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, do not do that, no. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
No, I understand, but a brand new one is 8,000, right? Option
No,
one.
sir, brand new one's 6,000 from your.
Oil 6, I think.
Yeah.
That's two Powell Brothers in?
Each one of those is a
Down
different
at the
bid.
bottom.
Yeah.
All the way down to 4, I think.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like about the Train, it's just got a 7-year warranty. It ain't, you know, the other ones have got 10 years, pressure warranty, and all that. Back to what we already got, which they lasted 20 years, so.
Well, your
Well, 15
KC,
to 20, I guess, I don't
so
know.
your KC is the low bid for the, Ream unit.
It's local.
I would ask, number one, I'd make a recommendation for York AC. I know Randall personally went to school with him, grew up with him. Just go back and ask him, if Train is a possibility, and if so, what would the price be, or price difference? I mean, I know he does good work.
Would you have to rebid if you did that?
Yeah, but these are just 3 all-around quotes, so it wouldn't be impossible to do. But I would have to wait until the next meeting before we fix the air, because I'd want, y'all know all the numbers.
Yeah.
And the good news about the Ream is those currently are Reams out there, and it would just go right in the exact, no siding to be moved, no anything, it just goes right in and it's, so it fits.
Maybe results.
I have no choice. One's got a lot of working parts in it to go bad, and the other one would fit better, so.
Yeah, I know.
Jason, that, if you look, that Train only has a 5-year parts warranty and a 7-year compressor warranty.
Yeah.
That's a big difference there.
So I'm good with your KC as well. I think it's the lowest price for what we were asking for.
Just give us the options, and I guess we'll have to wait till next meeting. I'm gonna get real hot on it here, but
We can do it.
that's an inside office. It's not on an outside wall, so they can't roll the windows up, so. We got a fan or 2 in there now.
Yeah.
What, do I hear a suggestion, we want to try York, like you
Hey,
said?
I make a motion, we hire York AC to go ahead and install the Ream gas package.
I'll second.
Got a motion, got a second, any more discussion? Call the roll, please, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Jason Stiltman,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Ron Childers.
Yes.
Passed.
And the next one will be, fire department, and it's three motions. Motion one, motion for $19,240 from the fire department's 2019-2020 budget to be removed and set aside in a special designated fund to be used solely for the purchase or replacement of fire apparatus and expect some of it for 2020-2021 final budget year.
I make a motion, we put it in a fund to be used solely for the purpose of replacing the fire apparatus.
Okay.
I'll second.
Got a motion, got a second, take the money out of this year's budget and carry it forward to the next year's budget for the purpose of the truck. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Jason Stiltman,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Ron Childers.
Yes.
Passed.
The second motion for the fire department is decommission the current engine 3 1986 GMC/FMC bid number, I won't call it, and surplus sale apparatus on govdeal.com funds received from sale are to be earmarked towards the purchase of a replacement fire apparatus or related equipment for the new apparatus.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion, you need a second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any more comments or discussion? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Jason Stiltman,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Ron Childers.
Yes.
Passed.
Motion three, motion to approve fire chief Betty to process the loan from Tennessee Municipal Bond and purchase a used fire apparatus that meets the department's specifications. Loan is not to exceed $155,000 over a 10-year payment period, and payments are not to exceed $19,240 per year, including interest. First payment will begin January 1st. I think we have an amendment to that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay,
Because
go ahead and read that.
I will read that, after contacting the Tennessee Municipal Bond Fund, they are no longer doing small loans for that price over 10 years. They'll do 155 over 8 years. You guys should have received in your packet or by email, hopefully,
We did.
the three proposals that they put forward. Proposal number one was for the 155. The first 2 years would meet the requirement of the payment. After year number two, the payment would go up to $20,000. The last payment would be $21,249, but it's over 8 years. The second proposal was for 145. With the 145, we would still, except for the very last year, meet the requirement of the payment, but it's over an 8-year loan as well. Proposal number three is for 140,000, with all the payments meeting the requirements as far as the 19,000 over an 8-year loan. Each one of those incrementally is less than what we're paying. Open for discussion from you guys on what I can go for.
Which do you want to go with? It's in your budget.
If it's in my,
It's your budget
if it's in my budget, I would go for the 155, add in the rest, and that would increase what we can buy for a fire truck. It's still 2 years less, but all three of them, meet the requirements.
Now, a lot of money coming out of your budget. Are you up to date on all your equipment, other
Yeah.
equipment?
I'm up to date with all my equipment, minus major apparatus breaks. That's just something that's gonna happen. As
But
far
other
as,
than that,
other than that, I am up to date. I'm on a replacement program for 10 years right now. All my major stuff, 10 years plus on that.
This money that we're putting back aside, is that gonna be used to add on to this?
It can either be used to add on to this or take away. If you use it to add on to it, that's more fire truck. If you use it to take away or add to, like the 140, that meets the 155, if we go with it.
I think since the motion's already been made on that, we'd have to change it if it wasn't.
I'm just saying, and then the money from the fire truck If we sell that old fire truck, will it go to where now?
It'll go towards that,
It'll go to the 155 or the one?
on top of the 155. But that's gonna be towards, wiring in a new, radio system and stuff
Okay.
into
Is
it.
that part of your radio system?
Yeah,
Okay.
And gold leaf.
go to leaf if we had go to leaf
Now,
for
now,
later
which
in
one
the
of these-
gym, but,
Amortization schedules did you want for the minutes?
sorry, sir.
Which one did you want, recommend that we bypass?
The recommendation would always be the 155.
I know that, but I've got three amortization schedules, it's got a different.
Can you
date.
give me
I
that
apologize.
Oh, it's all right.
Page one,
All of them.
all of them page one. I
Yeah.
apologize, there too. Be this one right here, Joe.
Okay.
155 at 8 years. that I've been looking at.
That'd be the first one, looks like.
That would be the first one, sir.
Okay. Okay,
It's also something we're not gonna get till next year, is that correct?
It'd be on next budget year, yes.
That we won't get the
Yeah,
fire truck till.
Because if you guys pass this tonight, I've still got to bring you guys back loan paperwork.
But the fire truck, I'm saying, when will we get it?
It,
Depends.
depends, probably in July, 1st of August.
We can't get it and not make a payment till next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you have checked this fire truck out and,
I have not even started till.
okay, you don't know what we're,
Yeah.
you think we might need more money?
No, no,
Okay.
no, sir.
He's been shopping around.
I understand, I'm just saying, you know.
But the problem is,
I-
he's
I
been
don't
shopping, but
win.
they all fall out from under. him.
I have not went and started asking for proposal or, cause it be
Right.
used. I'm not even started going kicking tires other than window shopping. Because as soon as I start looking at some trucks and stuff, they're sold as soon as they
Yeah.
start looking at them.
Okay, does everybody understand that? Everybody understand it? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I second.
Motion made and seconded, we amend that, paragraph 3, is that it?
Yes, sir.
To the chart that Joe, recorded Joe has in his hand, that the fire chief has submitted for the new fire truck, or used fire truck. Got a motion? Got a second?
I have an addendum to that.
Okay,
It'd be a commercial cab truck, 3-man cab, 1,500 to 1,800 a minute, gallon pump with at least 1,000 gallon tank on it.
does all that sound okay to you?
Be hard to find,
That will work? Okay.
be hard to find.
Be hard to find, wouldn't it? But,
That's-
They're out
that's-
there though.
It's gonna be hard to find, that's the only problem.
With that price?
No, they're.
Well, not at that price, it's gonna be hard to find,
they're kinda outdated.
so.
No, they're not outdated.
Well,
They
they're
get
out-
them, they make them every day.
yeah, they make them new, but they're not, 155,000 is, probably not gonna buy one.
Let's see, you
Oh
want a
yeah, they're
commercial,
cheaper than the commercial. They're cheaper than a custom cab truck.
you want a commercial cab truck with 3-man cab, and what was the pump specifications?
1,500, 1,800 a minute, a gallon a minute, and at least 1,000 gallon tank on it.
Does that meet your requirements?
It meets my requirements, what I've been looking for the most part, except for the 3-man cab. So, but that's what council wants, we'll go with it.
What's the difference in a 3-man and a?
So what I've been going for, and I've still been looking at commercials. I have been looking at commercials, actually I prefer, obviously. But I'm going for a more man cab because I get compartment space out of that. If I go with a 3-man cab, 3 people are gonna be sitting up front. If I can get 3 people, if they're my size, it's tight. But what I lose is that my air packs go from inside the cab and extra equipment from inside the cab to a compartment. So then I lose compartment space for equipment. So it's give and take. Personally, I mean, safety-wise, a custom cab's better. Commercial cabs meet the requirements of NFPA. I absolutely agree with that. Me personally, I'm a four-person cab because of the simple fact it's more equipment storage for me. The 1,000 gallons, I agree with, you know, to our town, we do have some areas that are, spaced out for hydrants. 750 to 1,000 has always been my requirement, no more than 1,000. Just because as soon as I start adding on, I take away compartment space and it winds down the truck depending on what size motor's in it.
What's the size of the one we have that's?
Currently, we're 1250, 1250, so it's 1250 pump, 1250 on the back. It's a three-man cab. It's got, it's long, it's big, but with it, because the more water, you got more water weight. And if I'm pulling Cemetery Hill, if I'm pulling some of the other hills, get out and walk. But that's a transmission engine issue. That's not a cab size, things like that. What I'm going for, honestly, is a rescue pumper. Because of the fact that due to low manpower, I need the compartment space to get some of the rescue equipment off of what is our rescue truck now to try to save its transmission and its motor. It's overweight.
Now, we've had an issue brought up about it not being able to fit in up here. Is that still?
That's any truck I buy right now.
In other words, have we got room at the?
Yeah.
At the?
Yeah, I'm limited by 32 feet, 10 foot 6 inches. So that's my limitation. If I come down here, I'm at 25 feet, maybe some change, and I'm at 9 feet, less than 9 feet.
So in other words, anything we buy, we can't put.
Yeah. That was built for a 1960s model truck.
Yeah.
Anything you buy now with emission standards and cab size, you're there.
So this would be what, just given back to the police or just close it?
No, it still have that truck that's in it.
It still have that truck that's
Yeah.
in it? And it, okay. Will it ever service a town?
Yes. Yeah, it's still servicing as a mini pumper right now. And they'll still continue to service as a mini pumper.
Okay, well, what we gotta do here, Joe, we got a motion and a second, and we put things in it.
The point of order, did the second agree to Mr. Miller's amendment?
Yes.
Okay, you got it all written down where you want it?
I think so. If not, we'll correct it.
Any more discussion?
Is this something that you can bring back to us to what you think you want compared to what he's wanting to say there's a happy medium?
I can.
In other words, since we're not gonna buy it tomorrow,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I can.
And, you know, for whatever that's worth, you know, I'd like to just see the options, if there is such a.
We're gonna lollygag around and lose our fire code, though, bring it down to a,
Well, I understand that, but, you know, if,
we've been doing this now for about 6 months.
yeah, I know.
Or longer.
If it's out there, I'd like to see if we can, you know, look at it and put like that. Because when you get on, like you say, now you've got the right to go, right?
So can I offer this as a happy medium? If I can find one that's a commercial cab, still four-door. That way I get the compartment space. But you get the 1,500, 1,000 as a happy medium.
How about, can you find 1,800 minute gap?
It's either 15 or 2,000.
So they do away
It's
with
1250, so 1250 is where we're at now. I need 15. If I can find 2,000, I'll pack a 2,000 in down here, but the water system won't support it. So that would be my happy medium, if I can find a four-door commercial.
Are we good? Okay, any more discussion? You got that note, Joe? Okay. Call roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Jason Stiltner,
Yes.
Terry Hall,
Yes.
Ron Tillman.
Yes.
Passed.
It's good, I'll comment on that. It's good to have experience, Mr. Miller's experience in the fire department. The chief here teaches Knoxville Fire in Knoxville, and they're both experienced, and we depend on them a lot to give us some good information, and a little discussion is good at times, so hopefully this will work out for everybody's good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, it's ready for item 3.
Yes.
Discussion and possibly approve the purchase of police radios. Chief?
This is the second part of what we did last week on that grant. I applied for the grant, got it sent in, and I gave y'all copies of these last week of bids, state bid price on the radios. What I'd like is permission to go ahead with these, but not buy them until that grant comes through. The motion would be only if that grant comes through. If it doesn't, then we're not gonna buy them.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
A motion done second. Any discussion?
When will you know about the grant, or?
I've sent everything into the state, just waiting on a response back from them. And
They
so-
said it's gonna be after 1 July. They didn't
Yeah.
say how long after 1 July.
So, I mean, they got to give you something first week and say, go ahead, and, or they may send a check, I don't
How
know.
long will it take you, chief, once you get the,
So,
Yes.
we got, these radios 110, but I've got money in the drug fund to kick in for the rest of it.
This money will come, I think. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, and it may be something they go ahead and send us, it may be something we got to spend and then get reimbursed, but it's not gonna be spent until they guarantee that we're getting the money.
Okay, got a motion, got a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please, Joe.
Robert Miller,
yes.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Jason Stiltman,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you all.
Thank you, chief.
Item 4, discussion of inmate guard contract. You want to open that?
Yes, Mayor. As you all remember, I was asked to rewrite the independent contractors, who is the inmate guard's contract. And during that process, I asked MTS legal department to review the contract and the dialogue, and during that dialogue, it was realized that we had misclassified him as an independent contractor when in actual everything looks like he is an employee. So I've had asked MTS if they could come down and help explain that. We brought Angie Carrier here from MTS to help with the definition of what an independent contractor is, what an employee is, and what the differences are, and the ramifications of misclassifying each.
Well, what we did, we looked at the contract and looked at the nature of the position in relation to the Fair Labor Standards Act. And there's basically what the Fair Labor Standards Act, it looks at the employer-employee relationship and what that looks like. And they look at it in the totality of it. And there are different things that the court looks at in determining employee-employer relationship. And it's about the extent to which the services are rendered as an integral part of the principal's business. You all had with this person, with the permanency of the relationship, the amount of the alleged contractor's investment in facilities and equipment. The town provides all of those, from my understanding, all the facilities and equipment. The nature and degree of control by the principal. I believe the town discusses the workload, what's to be done, the projects to be done, and that's determined by the town, not the contractor itself. So the alleged contractor's opportunities for profit and loss, there are no opportunities for profit or loss with the current contract. He gets paid no matter what. You have also benefits, leave time. That's not a profit loss there for the employee. The amount of initiative, judgment, or foresight in open market competition with others required for the success of the claimed independent contractor, and the degree of independent business organization and operation. Just for the totality of those things compiled, the attorneys looked at it, I've looked at it. I've discussed this with public equity partners as well, and they're in agreement with our assessment that it is an employee relationship. The issue here is that you should offer employment to this employee, or they should be on your payrolls as an employee of the city because they're acting as an employee. And the nature of that, of course, is you have IRS issues, you have the Fair Labor Standards Act, which is not being applied, and you're also violating your personnel policy. because you're treating this employee different than your other employees, and per law, this is an employee relationship with the city, so in order to be consistent with all employees, it must be treated that way, so.
So for the second time, I'm recommending that we cancel the contract and hire a full-time employee.
I got some questions I'd like to ask.
Did you want to did y'all want to get on the floor to do that, or how'd you?
I'll just go ahead and start the discussion.
We can, and we could stop it most anytime, say, okay, go ahead.
Well, it's, inmates are not contractors. They are let out by the state to help towns, civic organizations, people that needs help. All towns that bring in inmates are required, they have to ask, send a letter to request this. They're not contractors. And I know I'm saying this like it's the towns, when they get an inmate crew, they have to furnish tools, transportation. That's part of the deal. I'd like to ask, what about, sometimes we have inmate construction crews that come to town. We have crews that cut the creek banks. We have, they build buildings, they do all kinds of different things. What are they?
We weren't looking at the
They're working for the town
inmates.
now. They're
No,
working for
we
the
weren't
town.
looking at the inmates, we're looking at the actual employee that's guarding the inmates,
Well,
that
they-
relationship.
They have guards. So what are they? I'm not trying to be hateful, I'm just trying to get,
Well,
what about
they're
those
inmates, they've lost their right for employment at this point in time, so they're working as inmates. That is not the issue with Fair Labor Standards Act.
it's civil safe.
No, Don, they're.
They're still working
over-
for the town.
But they're overseen by guards that are paid by the state of Tennessee.
Well, what's the difference?
Well, I'd offer this observation.
Could I, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask one more. Has there been any other town or city in Tennessee that's asked for help with this?
I'm sure there has, I just don't have any that have come to me in the last 2 years. I've been with them.
You know, which I'm not gonna mention no names, but I know a couple of counties right now that some towns has these people, and they're very happy. You know, they know they got a good deal. And that's what this town had a good deal until something happened
Yeah.
to change this deal. And it's been going on for years. We've got along fine with the program that we had. But
I know I've used inmates as a city manager in another city in this state, and we used existing employees to oversee the labor of the inmates, and that's how we handled it when they assisted any time in public works or Parks and Rec or whatnot. We used our existing employees to oversee the work of the employees. So I'm not unfamiliar with the use of inmates, it's just that we looked at a contract, we gave our opinion, so this is it, and just wanted to give you all that advice that we have based on the Fair Labor Standards Act.
I agree with much of your black letter statements of the law, but at the end of your conversation, you reached the conclusion that he was an employee, which I disagree. I think he could be considered an employee. I think he could be considered an independent contractor by this town council. There's several reasons for that. One is he could be considered an employee for tax purposes, where the town has to pay us Social Security and withhold income tax, but he could still be considered an independent contractor. He could be considered an independent contractor where he would pay all the taxes on that. Now, in a way, your presentation was very impressive, but let me offer you this thought. I taught paralegal studies at Roane State for about 12 years. Roane State told me when to come, assigned me a classroom. I had to have my syllabus approved. They gave me a textbook. I had to use their grading system, use their facilities, go to their building, which is a classic definition of an employee from what you said. And Roane State required me to sign an independent contract as an independent contractor.
Were you getting benefits?
No,
Were you getting paid leave?
no, I got no benefits at all. That's why they said I was an independent contractor. Now, the only thing they withhold was Social Security. They didn't withhold income tax, only Social Security. They required not a paycheck, but a payroll deposit. I was, in a broad sense, identical to every other employee that got benefits, health insurance, retirement, vacation, et cetera, et cetera. But the reason Roane State did that is purely economics. So they would not have to pay their independent contractors. Actually, I was called an adjunct professor of paralegal studies. I was not a full-time professor. And I know of several other people that taught math and other things as adjunct professor. And the reason Roane State did it was nothing more than economics, because they did not want to have to go to the General Assembly and get all this extra money. I don't know, they probably had 50 of the adjunct professors in various areas, maybe 75 or 100, ever how many it was, I don't know. So in that
This
regard,
person works 40 hours a week, they're a full-time employee. I would suggest as well that they would be subject to overtime regulations.
well, he
in
doesn't
certain
work
things.
unless he gets accrued.
I understand that.
So now, in the past several weeks, he's come down and worked because crew's been unavailable. But I just share with you and the folks that have to make the decision that topics like this may not necessarily be black and white, they're gray. And if y'all chose to classify him as an employee, that's fine, motion is second, it passes. You could choose to classify him as an independent contractor, motion is second, it passes, so on like that. But I personally believe he's more in the nature of an independent contractor. And I do that based on my experience with Roane State.
And I understand that, but our municipal attorneys should look at this as well and review the Fair Labor Standards Act and contract employee based upon your personnel regulations. By doing a contract with someone that is acting as employee status, they're losing their at-will status as well as all your other employees in the city have that status. And so that's an unfair advantage.
Can you tell me what has to be changed to keep him a contract employee?
We need to hire him full-time.
You need to hire him full-time as an employee.
So you're saying there's no way he could be a contract employee? Even if he had no benefits, no nothing?
That's our recommendation, yes, to hire him as a full-time employee.
Let me define it a little sharper, Don. If there's a motion and second to hire him as an independent contractor in the past, she's offered an opinion. Keep in mind that it's just opinions. You go to the doctor and this doctor says you got cancer. You go to another doctor and that doctor says, well, I respect that doctor's thoughts, but it may not be cancer.
Right.
And you know what? Down the road, if you live another 50 years, then this doctor that says you had cancer probably was wrong. If you died in 6 months of cancer, then that doctor was right. And that's their opinion, and I respectfully disagree. And the only way we know for sure who's right or wrong is we get a court ruling that says that. Now, the tax people will come in and the tax people will declare him to be an employee for tax purposes because the state and the federal government want the tax revenue. It's not based on what he actually is or is not, it's based on tax revenue. So see, you've got all these hybrid employee, independent contractor issues. And as a footnote, in the coal industry, back when we had a coal industry, we ran into that frequently, and I dealt with it many times with coal companies. I know Oliver Springs Mining Company hired independent truck drivers to drive coal trucks. They might own 1 or 2 trucks. Workers' Comp said they were employees and withheld workers' comp, but they were truly independent contractors because they got a check per ton of coal hauled with nothing withheld. So see, it's not black and white, it's gray. it becomes black and white when you get that court ruling.
Well, I'll add one more wrinkle to it. The contract that I wrote, that Tom McFarland wrote and that we did together, I'd spoke with Buster and he wasn't really in love with the new contract anyway. So,
I haven't seen the new contract.
What does it say in the new contract?
well, the
I don't-
thing
we
of
don't
it
have a
is
copy
that,
of it.
yeah, I have it right here. But the thing of it is that the new contract is the same. We sent that to the legal department as well at MTask, and they said that he is still classified as a employee, even under the new contract, with the perks of the van being taken away, because that's a fringe benefit for employees. The holidays being taken away, it's a fringe benefit for employees. The sick time and vacation time taken away, it's a fringe benefit. Even with, and having to be required to get, special insurance to hold us harmless if an inmate slips away. So all these things were put in that new contract, I know, but when we gave it to the other, attorney, the recommendation was, it's still not the right classification, and it puts us, vulnerable.
What's this special insurance?
The special insurance that would indemnify us in case one of the inmates got loose and did something bad, that not to hold the town liable, but the actual person who's the.
Do you think there's a company that's gonna insure somebody like that for that? That's dealing with inmates, that could, I don't believe,
Well, if Buster doesn't have insurance,
say,
and something happens, he could be.
for example, I'm just throwing for instance, if the inmates do property damage or hurt somebody, or they get hurt, or whatever, you're telling me that the town is gonna be exempt from a lawsuit?
I'm telling you that it needs to be.
They're working for the town, there's no way the town will be exempt from a lawsuit.
Yeah, but Buster isn't working for the town, so he'll be sued personally.
No,
He-
it
he
don't
needs to
matter,
get
the
insurance.
inmates are working for the town. Could you answer that? Will the city be exempt?
I would leave that up to your insurance company.
So
Let
that's
me
what we,
speak of this just
Yeah.
what we have here is, most every county that's got this has an experienced ex-prison guard with these crews. If we take them as an employee, and Buster don't work for us anymore, he finds employment, not contract anymore, it's employment, then we're gonna have to train one of our guys to do that. The prison will have a half day or a day course, and we're taking on 6 inmates, I won't call them prisoners, they're inmates. 6 inmates with our employee, not experienced in handling these guys, how they can shake you around and beat you out of your socks and shoes while you're guarding them. And these guys, he was one, he was the ex-prison guard, Don was. That's my feelings. I'm concerned that we won't have anyone that can handle 6 inmates, unless we assign a policeman to them, or more than one guy. And then all you got is confusion if you assign more than one guy. There's gotta be a way around it, but I don't know what it is. You and I've talked about it. I don't know the way around it.
Is there a possibility we've got a person in mind that was trained to handle guards that would work for the city?
if we were to post the position, if the decision was to cancel, the independent contractor's contract, and then we were to, hire a position for full-time, I would hope Buster would put in for it. But if he can't for his own reasons, then we would look for someone with construction experience and, jailer experience or dealing with inmates experience. So we would look for that.
How much would you pay?
Going rate, 12, 13 an hour.
It never happened.
Well, we have a guy that put in for the, water meter reading position that actually has both those experiences, and he's probably not a good candidate for the meter reader position because he doesn't have experience in utilities. But he does have, asphalt experience, and he worked at the
Does he have inmate experience?
He was a jailer.
A jailer? Never worked in prison, though, did he?
I've never talked to him yet. I've seen his application, but, so they are out there. He may be the unicorn, but we would wait till we got the right person.
I've got a question. Don asked what it would take, and it sounded like he answered it by saying that trimming all that stuff off, that you said made it made. What's your opinion about, you said they said it still wouldn't work.
required because it's still the permanency of the relationship. You're still providing all the food, the equipment, that sort of thing. You're paying it.
Equipment's a van, right?
Van, mower, weed
The
eater.
equipment is not for the guy washing, the equipment is for the inmates.
I know, but what independent contractor
You know,
is
it's-
basically when you have someone do your roof
You
on your
have to
house.
furnish all that by the
It's a
agreement of the
landscaper.
state.
Exactly. You do have to furnish it. You're exactly right. And that's what makes it not fall into the classification of independent contractor. It puts it in the classification of
But
employee, because you have to furnish all these things, including the inmates. We're also his only client as well. And if he doesn't work that day, he doesn't fear of not getting paid, because he does get paid. That also is the difference between an independent contractor and an employee. If I was to have a roof to put on my house, and I pay someone $6,000 to put a roof on, and at the beginning of the job, at the end, if the independent contractor, the roofer comes to me and says, hey, you got a car sitting there, do you mind if I use it to haul shingles while I'm doing this, and do you have a hammer that I can borrow as well? Oh, and do you want me just to come every week and work on this? There's a big difference. Independent contractor does one job for one day, one thing, and he gives you an invoice and you pay it. And that's the difference
We're talking
between
the permanency of
an
the
employee
relationship.
versus an independent
Yes.
contractor. He just doesn't fit that classification. And because of what he does, with us having to provide the food for the inmates, we provide the inmates even as well, and we provide the van, the weed eaters, the gas, the lawnmower equipment. That makes him not fit into that classification at all. So that's really the problem of it is that if he was like a roofer that come and just put a roof on your house, and you give him $6,000 once he gives you an invoice, that's an independent contractor. But an employee is someone that has a steady paycheck, works, gets paid, whether it rains or doesn't rain, doesn't matter, gets vacation time, gets perks. That's what makes it an employee relationship. And
Most
that's what
employees
makes-
don't have 6 inmates signed to them.
Well, they got 6 inmates, they're just out on parole.
You're
So
putting
that's
forth
been the
this
whole problem
argument.
with it, is that you have a different classification that we're putting him under, that is basically violating a few things, and that's what I feel that I was asked to redo the contract. As I was redoing the contract, I realized there was a complication in it, and I don't want the city to go in the wrong direction. I like Buster, never had a crossword with him. I enjoy him. I think he does a really good job. The only problem is that we are putting him in a position where he isn't. I know the reasons why they did the contract was to save money. It was to do that, but it doesn't make it right. Like, we're supposed to be the enforcers of rules and laws, and if we know we're doing something wrong, it's different than if we didn't know, which we didn't know, but now we do know. So it puts us in a different position, because at one time, we may not have known we were doing something wrong. So you don't know what you don't know, but when you do know it, then what did you do once you knew it? And that's the situation that we're in now, is that he probably doesn't fit the classification that we.
Okay, we've talked about Buster, he will speak. Sir?
I just had a question. Contract.
Part-time employee.
He's a part-time employee. You talking about Kelly?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I got 2 observations. The city manager said that we know we're wrong. No, we're not wrong. Absolutely, we're not wrong in classifying as an independent contractor. We would not be wrong in classifying him as an employee. That's a decision that the council would make. The second point I'd make is, how do you explain the fact that MTOS is a division of the state and the college system is a division of the state? The state, on one hand, through the college system, says that these adjunct professors are independent contractors under essentially the same fact pattern as we're employing this gentleman to guard the prisoners. Now the state comes in and says, oh, for this purpose, he has to be an employee under the same fact pattern, essentially the same fact pattern. And one thing I didn't say is they required me to attend faculty meetings on Saturday morning once a year. I had to attend quarterly faculty meetings and so forth and so on. I mean, I was, in essence, an employee, but the state, because of whatever reason, classified me as an independent contractor.
Could it have been the IRS that classifies you as that?
Okay.
No, it wasn't the IRS, because I didn't work for the IRS. I worked for Rome State Community College, and there was a contract I had to sign, an independent contractor contract. See?
I don't know the personal details of any agreement that you made, Joe.
I understand that, I'm sharing them with you.
I'm just
sharing them
making a
with you.
statement that we asked for help and looking at something, they gave.
And I'm simply pointing out that this lady in MTOS offers an opinion. That's from the state. On the other hand, the state, on essentially the same fact pattern, went 180-degree opposite direction. And I'm sharing this with these gentlemen to show that she is not right and she is not wrong. She is offering an opinion. An opinion does not mean you're right or wrong. She might express an opinion that she thinks you're all wrong if you go to an independent contractor. But for every person that says that he might be an independent an employee, you will find somebody that says he could be an independent contractor. And that's what I'm saying. The state on one hand says these people that work for the state are independent contractors, and then the state comes in and says the people that work for the town have to be employees.
Well, I want to clarify, we don't have a relationship with Burnham State. We are
Oh, I
in
agree.
existence, we are in existence, MTS is, UT MTS, for and to serve the municipalities, and we are here to assist. We're not a regulatory agency, so we're here to give our best foot forward for you to try to help you. It's nothing about regulatory or got you or anything of that nature. There are other agencies of the state that will do that, not us.
Well, I would agree. I would agree, but I'm simply
I just
saying
wanted to
that.
point that out.
But Tennessee, UT Knoxville, has adjunct professors that are hired under the same provisions that I was hired in Rome State. And by the way, they paid minimum wage too. They didn't pay any kind of big salary as well as benefits. So, not that I'm complaining, but I wanted to do that.
We're about to end discussion on this, I think. Has everybody had an input? Got one input, where do we stand on motions, seconds, and whatever?
I don't have any motion second to this.
No, it's only just open discussion.
Okay, you have the presentation of the motion, right?
I had asked if there should be one before we began discussion, but it was decided.
Yeah, it got out of the way.
It got, I felt like it got cut off where you finished the sentence. You're saying.
Okay, go ahead, Thomas.
Go ahead,
Any more time?
Start over.
Okay, from the very beginning. I was asked, I'm joking, but the bottom line is that Buster does a great job, and the inmates are very important to the city, and I do feel that we need them. But I do want to do things the right way, and I would never give you guys a recommendation that wasn't one based on a reason. And my reason is that we contacted MTAS. MTAS advised us that we've misclassified him, and that we need to hire a full-time employee in the place of an independent contractor. So that's where I'm at.
So the motion would be to cancel Buster's contract and hire a employee to replace him,
Full-time employee.
and it could be him that applies for it.
If you could apply for it.
Which makes more sense because what's our status on getting him? I mean, if it
I
takes 6
spoke
months
with- I spoke with the Assistant Commissioner of the Department of Corrections in Nashville, Mr. Lee Dodson, today. And he said that his office and the Health Department were currently reviewing active and new cases of COVID-19 by county and deciding which area would be eligible to restart work, release programs. And he said no decision has been made as of yet. It could be a week, it could be 3 weeks, it could be a month. But until the numbers are what they're gonna go by. So if the numbers go up, the numbers go down. But even if we were to do whatever we decide tonight, keep the contract, cancel the contract, hire an employee. If we do decide to cancel the contract and hire an employee, we can send someone to get trained to pick the inmates up. All the equipment's ours, and the inmates are released to Oliver Springs anyway. I do want to not misguide anybody, so that's what this is I'm trying to protect the city.
Well,
I like Buster, nothing personal. I want to protect the city, I want to protect us, and that's what I'm doing.
Mr. Mayor,
So it's not-
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we hire Buster Jones as the independent contractor for the next fiscal year.
Got a motion? Need a second. Motion, do I have a second?
So if we did that, what would it change? Nothing? Just stays the same.
Stays the same.
We need to keep in mind that's got a proven track record.
Yeah.
You voted on that before?
Well, I'll second that.
A motion and a second, and we had enough discussion.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
So the contract stays the same?
As it's sitting now with what's on the table.
With the motion that's on the floor.
So that's not the new contract that we just spent money to have, written up? That's the question.
Is that the question, is that it or not?
It's, the way it's worded by Donna, it seems like it's the current contract, just to be extended for another year.
Current contract is written. by the
If you
previous-
want.
By the previous,
I mean, the new contract wasn't approved by impasse either. So if you want to vote on that one, you can vote on that one too. But it wasn't approved either.
Well, I'm going by, I was here at the time this all come up, and we had the previous guy. I know I made it clear, that no inmates, no pay. And then we get a loophole, where you have to still pay even though we have inmates. We still don't know when we're getting inmates. So we're still, you know, like I said, he's doing a good job, but we still don't know. If we cancel the night, we're still paying 30 days
that's correct.
from this point forward. We've already talked about this a month ago, which cost another
That's correct.
month's worth of
That's
So-
correct.
waiting around again.
Amend the motion then to only pay him when he gets inmates and see if he accepts it.
He won't do that.
Don't know until we ask him. Ask him once more.
We got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Contract being the one that's previously written, I guess, the one-page contract? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that your understanding of the motion? Second, is that your understanding? Any more discussion? Call the roll,
Saying
John.
that we're gonna pay him,
He's working. I didn't see he working.
He's at the shop, he's doing it.
You wanna see my Bible stars from Whitty from the cemetery?
Call the roll, Joe.
Robert Miller,
no.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
No.
Jason Steltner,
Yes.
Terry Holland.
No.
3-3. Mayor, you get the
Yes.
honors.
Did you vote?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's the no vote?
Robert Miller voted no, Jeff Bass voted yes, Kenny Brown voted no, Jason Steltner voted yes, Terry Holland voted no, and Don Schillings voted yes. 3-3.
Okay, I'm a betting we're gonna get the inmates back quickly, and I'm gonna try to justify this if I can. I think I can. We still have a contract that we can notify him and give him 30-day notice if we say yes to the motion. And that's what I'm going on, yes.
It passes 4-3.
Okay, any more business to be brought before?
I got one more thing.
Oh, you do have one more thing.
Chief, this early birds, the light, whatever you call that, where it flashes till 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
CUB's been out there all week working on Hannah Drive, it keeps killing the power, and every time they do, it throws it in the haywire, so I've been letting them have a week to get everything straightened up and have them come back out and fix it.
Okay, well, as long as somebody's alert of it, well, it's like Talladega and it turns
Yeah.
green. I mean, it's-
CUB's turned the power off out there about every day this week.
They're changing transformers and poles out.
Yeah, they're on Hannah Drive, so hopefully,
They're
they
gonna
said
be
it
there
should
for
be
another
done by
week.
tomorrow.
So hopefully it's this clock thing.
Okay, anything else
I
to
got
come
one
forth
other
down?
thing. The next council meeting will be, what, July the 2nd, or thereabouts,
Yeah, we've got a workshop that
which
night.
is close to July the 4th. I know when the council meeting falls on July 4th, it's always a holiday and it's canceled, or maybe falls on July the 5th or July the 3rd, sometimes council doesn't meet. I just share that with council, because if people are gonna be gone for the 4th of July holiday, then would we have a quorum, or would we be able to meet, or do you all just want to go ahead and have a meeting? I will be
Workshop,
here,
don't
but I just share that with you.
On that day, we have a public hearing
Yeah,
for
public
the
hearing.
budget. And I was gonna get the budget special call for the water board for the next meeting if we could.
It doesn't matter to me, I just shared it with you because
I'm
you come
okay
up to
with
the last day of June or July 1st, and 3 or 4 councilmen are gonna be out of town with their family, and first thing you know, we need to cancel the meeting, so.
Make a motion, we cancel the meeting on July 2nd.
Got a motion, a second.
Who
Need a
said?
second. We don't have a second yet.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second.
What was the public meeting?
The budget.
Budget. We'd like to get the budget out on time, but the next week will be on time, right?
It's still, it would have been 2 days late, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
So it'd be omit the workshop too.
No, the workshop's gonna continue, and I'll do that, that'll be a public hearing, so I'll be here for anyone that wants to review the budget, I'll show it to them, anybody, the citizens that wanna come and look at it, it'll be like an open meeting.
That'd be for the water board as well as town council meeting.
Yeah, we'll reschedule the water board for that meeting also. Okay, is that okay, the motion to reschedule the water board?
Yes.
Second? Okay. Motion second, any more discussion? Call roll, Joe. Please.
Robert Miller.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Jason Silver.
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Passed.
Okay, is that any more business to be brought before the town council? Motion to adjourn,
So move.
need a second. Okay, stand up, adjourn, if you say yes. No, we're not gonna have a public hearing second, we're delaying the public hearing till the next meeting.
Okay, I thought that's what it said.
Can we not go out the front door? It says entry only. Or does
I go out
everybody
the
go
front
out
door.
the front door?
I do,
So you don't read the sign?
but I'm not an employee. I'm an independent contractor.
When you get finished, just give them Kenny or give them copies. Make copies.
I may